The day my daughter told me to get out, she didn't scream. She didn't cry. She just tossed a black trash bag at my feet and said, "Take your things and go." I didn't even open it until I reached the sidewalk. Inside were stacks of cash, and a handwritten note that made my hands start shaking. Because that bag wasn't meant to humiliate me. It was meant to save me from something I never saw coming. And I still don't know which hurt more. If you've ever been hurt by the people you love most, stay with me. I stood there on the cracked concrete outside my daughter's townhouse, the black trash bag resting against my leg like an accusation, listening as the door locked from the inside. No shouting. No slammed door. Just the quiet click of a deadbolt that sounded louder than any argument we'd ever had. For 36 years, I had been her mother. The woman who worked double shifts, skipped meals, pretended exhaustion was just part of life. And now I was standing on a suburban sidewalk with everything she thought I was worth stuffed into a bag meant for garbage. I didn't cry right away. Shock has a way of freezing tears in place. I remember noticing how clean the street looked, how someone down the block was watering their lawn, how ordinary everything seemed while my life quietly folded in on itself. It hadn't always been this way. There was a time when my daughter, Claire, used to sleep with her feet pressed against my back because she said it made her feel safe. When her father left, she was 8, and she took it upon herself to become the strong one. "It's okay, Mom," she'd say, patting my hand with a seriousness that broke my heart. I promised her then that no matter what happened, we'd always take care of each other. Somewhere along the way, that promise got tangled up in resentment, in unspoken blame, in the quiet bitterness that grows when two people love each other but never heal the same wounds. After my retirement check stopped stretching far enough and my rent went up for the 3rd time in 2 years, Claire told me I could move in temporarily. Temporarily turned into 18 months. I tried to stay invisible. I cooked. I cleaned. I folded laundry the way she liked it, towels facing the same direction, socks matched just so. But I could feel her irritation growing, like my presence was a reminder of something she didn't want to face. We stopped talking about real things. Conversations became transactional. Did you take your pills? Did you pay the phone bill? Can you watch the kids on Thursday? The night before she threw the bag at me, I overheard her arguing with someone on the phone. Her voice was low but sharp. "I can't keep doing this," she said. "It's not fair. They're watching everything." I didn't know who they were, and I didn't ask. By morning, she was distant, efficient. She handed me the bag without meeting my eyes. "You can't stay here anymore," she said. "This is all your stuff." I wanted to argue. I wanted to remind her of late nights, scraped knees, birthday cakes I baked by hand. But something in her expression stopped me. It wasn't anger. It was fear. I walked until my legs started to ache, then sat on a bus bench and finally opened the bag. At first, I thought I was hallucinating. Bundles of cash, neatly wrapped, more money than I'd ever held in my life. Underneath it, folded carefully, was a note in Claire's handwriting. My name at the top. Just that was enough to make my chest tighten. "Mom," it began, "I need you to trust me, even though I know this hurts. Please don't go back to the house. Don't call me for a few days. Take this money and go somewhere safe. I can't explain everything yet, but someone is watching me, and by extension, you. This is the only way I know how to protect you. I love you more than you know." My hands shook so badly I had to set the note down. Protect me? From what? Claire was a marketing manager, a mother of 2, a woman whose biggest stress used to be deadlines and school schedules. The number written at the bottom of the note made my stomach flip. $700,000. I counted it twice, then a third time, as if the money might disappear if I didn't keep my eyes on it. None of it made sense. Claire and her husband lived comfortably, but not like this. This wasn't savings. This was something else. Something heavy. I felt exposed sitting there, like everyone passing by could see the truth of my life laid bare on that bench. I shoved the money back into the bag and hugged it close, suddenly terrified of losing it, of being seen with it, of what it represented. The humiliation of being thrown out twisted together with a deeper fear that settled in my bones. If Claire was scared enough to do this, then whatever she was dealing with was bigger than pride, bigger than family tension. As the bus pulled up, I realized I had no idea where I was going. I just knew I couldn't go back. And as I stepped onto the bus with that trash bag in my hands, I wondered whether my daughter had just abandoned me, or saved my life from something I didn't yet understand. I spent the first night in a small roadside motel off the highway, the kind of place that smells faintly of bleach and old carpet, where no one asks questions as long as your card goes through. I slept with the trash bag tucked beside the bed, one hand resting on it like it might try to run away. Every sound outside made my heart jump. A car door. Footsteps. Laughter drifting from somewhere down the row of rooms. I kept rereading Claire's note until the paper softened at the creases, trying to hear her voice in the words, trying to understand what kind of danger required this kind of cruelty. By morning, my humiliation had settled into something steadier. Resolve, maybe. Or survival. I bought a cheap burner phone from a gas station and checked into a second motel farther away, just like the note suggested. 2 days passed. Then 3. I didn't call Claire. I didn't go back. I watched the news obsessively, looking for anything that might explain her fear. It was on the 4th day that her name appeared on my phone screen, and for a moment, I couldn't breathe. Her voice, when she finally spoke, sounded older, stripped of its usual impatience. "Mom, are you somewhere safe?" I told her where I was, vaguely, and she exhaled like she'd been holding her breath for weeks. She didn't apologize right away. That hurt more than I expected. Instead, she told me the truth in pieces, like she was afraid that saying it all at once might make it real. Her husband had gotten involved in something illegal, a financial scheme dressed up as an investment opportunity. At first, she didn't know. Then she suspected. By the time she found proof, there were already people asking questions, showing up unannounced, making it clear that silence was expected. The money wasn't hers. It was money she moved before it disappeared, money she was supposed to hide and eventually return, but she couldn't live with the idea of me being collateral damage. "They won't look for you if you're gone," she said quietly. "If they think I cut you off, you're just not useful." I wanted to scream at her, to tell her that she didn't get to decide that alone. But as she spoke, I heard the same fear I'd heard in her voice when she was 8 and her father walked out the door. The same fear, just wearing a different shape. The authorities got involved sooner than she expected. Accounts were frozen. Her husband was questioned. Then arrested. The house was searched. Claire was cleared, eventually, but not before every part of her life was turned inside out. During those weeks, I stayed hidden, living simply, spending almost nothing, waiting. We spoke in careful sentences, never too long, never too detailed. When it was finally over, when she told me it was safe to come back, I didn't rush. Something in me had shifted. I realized that the woman I'd been before, the one who quietly accepted being diminished, couldn't come back unchanged. When I did see Claire again, months later, we sat across from each other in a park, not in her home. She cried then. really cried. She told me she'd hated herself for what she'd done, that every night she'd wondered if she'd broken something between us that couldn't be fixed. I told her the truth. That it hurt. That being treated like something disposable leaves scars. But I also told her that I understood why she did it. Understanding didn't erase the pain, but it gave it context. We decided together what to do with the money once the legal process concluded. Most of it went back where it belonged. What remained, legally mine for having safeguarded it, became a foundation of sorts. I bought a small condo in a quiet town, close enough to visit but far enough to breathe. Claire and I learned how to be in each other's lives differently, with clearer boundaries, with honesty that didn't wait until fear forced it out. The trash bag is gone now, thrown away like it should have been. But I still think about it sometimes. About how something meant to discard me ended up carrying the thing that saved me. Not just the money, but the truth. And I've learned that sometimes love looks like protection, even when it wears the shape of rejection. Sometimes it asks you to walk away so you can both survive.